Hello everyone, and welcome to chapter 22 of Ruins of the Past. I don't think you did.
I did because I was bored. What did I get? Oh yeah, Intimidate, Fuse Knowledge, Forbidden Lore of Craftworld Eldari, and Archaeotech known as well.
Pretty sure that's Heresy? Heretic?
I mean, yes, that's why it's Forbidden Lore. Fuck you, I have
Anyone
Fuse
knows
Knowledge.
Mechanicum anyway.
I kind of went with, okay, if I'm learning of like what the Inquisitor's doing, you know, getting infused knowledge and all that, and getting in the squad, I know some basics of Archaeotech then at that point.
So are you taking Jason on this?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jason, mostly because I just believe that Kybus would not be released out of the Null Bay just yet.
So, Kybus, or, well, not Kybus, Jason, you are taken for briefing with the Inquisitor, and he informs you that the invitation that was refused earlier, you're gonna take it and you're gonna go with some of the officers in a cargo lighter and bring some gifts to the rogue trader, bit of booze, the usual, just your neighbors. You have to stay here for the moment. Also, conveniently, you know how to talk to these people, how to smooth over any problems, how to get the team that's going in dark and sneaking on board their ship out if they fuck up.
Understood.
They will find you and link up with you, either by getting to the ship or finding you on board, and your job is to provide an exit route and a cover for them leaving the ship.
I think I'll be able to find a way. Before I go aboard, Inquisitor, do you perhaps know anything about this rogue trader?
From which high world are you, Demi? I think he was a high worlder.
I am Highborn Malfa.
He will tell you that he is from the Kaftar family, and alarm bells start going ding, 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 ding in your bell. Oh wait, no, that's the family of the governor of the planet on Malfi. Oh, they are the worst of the lot. They've climbed to the top. They're shit by and large.
Yeah. Okay.
I personally arranged his exile last year in order to keep him out of trouble. And somehow he's floated into our path once again. Be careful. And Jason, if you betray me, I know where everyone you care about lives.
I also quite remember that I have kind of a little thing in myself. Don't worry, Inquisitor, I won't.
Good. Good. Best of luck. If you have to bribe him, try not to bankrupt me.
I'll try. Mostly because that also kind of means that we're bankrupt as
Okay.
What do you mean you gave away to the influence?
So, you board the ship with some 10 officers from the bridge crew and maybe 4 guards to act as a escort with a freshly loaned out inquisitorial carapace, and fly over to the ship, where you are received by the crew of the rogue trader with appropriate ceremony. He isn't there to meet you personally, but you are informed that since you will apparently be staying for a few days as guests, you'll be taken to your rooms, you'll have a chance to freshen up, and he'll see you in 2 hours for a dinner with the captain and the senior officers.
Perfect. Just from entering, like where did we enter from exactly? Is it like a small ship, or is it like do we go like to the landing bay or whatever?
They take you to the primary docking bay. It is not a big ship. It's almost more or less as small as escorts come, honestly. It's one of the simplest classes to build. It's not a high-end ship necessarily.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like there's anything, just from the landing bay, like any like luxurious or anything like too modern, right? It definitely feels like this is a new rogue trader that's just starting out.
Yeah, there's about what you might expect. There's probably at this point, well, there's like 4 quill landers and 2 lighters in here. The lighters in this bay don't look like they are in use that often, so there's probably a secondary one that has more cargo ships, because you have seen those going back and forth. The landers, some of them show clear impacts and scorch marks from the minefield, as you might expect.
Alright. Alright, well, 2 hours. I was kind of already a bit spruced up, but just take the time to prep and see about do the people going on board with me know anything, essentially? Like, were they also debriefed on what they're doing technically or not?
They know that you're in charge.
Gotcha. Yeah, just I'll notify the officers to basically just keep an eye out. We never know with these people. Simple as that.
Yep, they're gonna follow your lead. And well, are you using your actual family name when you board the ship? Would he be able to figure out who you are, or are you going undercover?
You never really thought about that in the sense of I don't know how powerful my own noble family would be, but
probably you were like from a merchant clan, so
yeah.
So probably powerful-ish, but you would still be like A tier below his circle normally.
I'm gonna go in with full on name and thing. Just disclose that. Put a sense of leniency, but definitely that I'm still present essentially.
Yeah, I'll show that he has been sent over someone who's not a complete lowborn or something, so that he's more at ease and not being insulted.
So, when you walk in, the lighting, the music, the way the table is set, the way the servants stand, all of it reminds you of home. With the highest formality you would have expected in the formal functions you would have been expected to attend.
A little bit disgusted because, understandable. And yeah, just behave myself appropriately by what can be considered Malfoy-esque etiquette as well.
So, you're in King's Landing. You're dining with the Lannisters.
God bless. Oh, when is it that I tell the rogue trader there won't be a siege, my lordship?
Well, that's up to you. The first 3 courses go mostly with small talk, unless you would like to move to business immediately.
No, start with small talk.
And once you reach the 4th, he's just gonna start slowly probing, asking, so, hey, fancy meeting you here, essentially. What's up?
Indeed, quite surprised as well. Didn't knowing how large the Imperium is, quite interesting that two Malfoy individuals could meet in space out here. So, how was your time been as a rogue trader? I hear that this was a recent development.
Ah, so you're gonna act like a proper Malfoy nobleman, I see.
Yes.
Ah, yes, fortune has indeed smiled on me. Well, actually, I would like to make a roll for him on this. Heraldry will do for that, and he has the library, which is what, a +10?
Plus 10,
Yes.
if they're actively investigating, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's go with this.
Nice.
Well, back on the homeworld, certainly the most competent houses rose to prominence. It's no wonder that I find myself with a ship long before you.
Of course. How could somebody as menial as me rise to the governor's family, of course? But time and with a bit of fortune on my side, I believe I will be able to stand in a similar position soon enough.
Certainly, you have certainly attached yourself to the powerful. If my plans go as expected, I will sometime soon require a captain for a second vessel under my command.
Cheers to that.
I do hope you will keep me in your thoughts. Hint, hint.
Wink, wink. But definitely when the presuming that there's going to be a point essentially where we're going to go from meal to a little bit more alcohol.
Oh, you've been sipping wine throughout the meal.
Oh, yeah. But there's that time where it's like no food, just alcohol. So definitely trying to get him. I'm going to be seeing about trying to go through these talks and hopefully a little bit maybe going on optimistic fortune and like hopes and obviously with a little bit of sarcasm here and there just to put in that friendly rivalry, so to say, while trying to basically get a little bit intoxicated, more him than me, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
just so I can see what I can.
So you want to see what information you can sort of weasel out of him.
Essentially.
I think that is probably a deceive roll on your part to see how well that goes.
Let me just see if I have anything. Nope. That's a linguistics. Nope. Okay, so I'm going to be spending a fate point for just a +10, and hopefully have a one ready to reroll if need be, just to see if I got anything else. Scribe times. Nope. That's int. And court clothing. Nope. Best later. Yep. Okay, so just to see.
Mm-hmm.
That would be 3 degrees, I think.
Okay. Let's see. He doesn't tell you anything concrete, but you get the impression that at heart he is, strangely enough, a scholar, especially a scholar of history and past glories. And that is a large part of what motivates him and what might have gotten him into trouble.
Understandable. Now that I have infused lore, I might too consider myself a scholar. Fucking bless. Though there would be a point that there would probably be a question of what brings him exactly to this system. Essentially, because like this is, I mean, we both know this is kind of a definitely out in the open. Like really far away? Is it because of that adventuring slash sort of secrets, or did the warp bring him here on accident?
He tells you that he was hoping to find a ship named the Hurricane here, a rogue trader vessel that vanished exploring this system as far as he was able to find in ancient records.
Does that feel so familiar right now?
I literally took it off a list of randomly generated names, but it's the name of one of the two ships you have records of trying to reach the system and getting killed by the robotic defender.
Yeah, no, because I know there was a rogue trader ship here. I'm like, why does that feel like so?
Yeah. So he might not know about the second one, but he was following the trail of one of them.
He would be so dead if he arrived before us.
Indeed.
He might have been able to stealth in.
Maybe.
He has components for that, Jackalor.
Fair enough.
But I think since I presume this talk has been going on for a while, and to sort of like ease our mind from all the business talk and things, I'd see about since we're gonna have a few days and things, and we're both men of obviously great intellect, see about maybe playing a little bit of Regicide.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that sounds so wrong right now. When I
So, okay, you spend time with him pleasantly, and it's on the evening of the second day when you are sort of settling into another conversation over a game with like one of the guards, one from you and one from him staying in the room to sort of keep eye on things. Just chatting about home, nothing particular, that the alarm goes off.
Yeah, there was something that I just had the idea of.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were sent in here. Now, since I'm specifically interacting with the rogue trader specifically, there might have been a small discussion with the officers that we brought on board to see about themselves going on and familiarizing themselves with some other officers of their rank. AK, I want them to spread around the ship under the guise of interacting with other officers and stuff like that, just to sort of build a network real quick in this place. At least an idea of the ship,
Okay.
So I'd have to rely on the crew on this point. And obviously that includes if they stumble upon our people for any reason.
Okay, how would I go about this? What do you have in inquiry?
Inquiry. I have a single tech.
Okay, roll me that at -10.
Fellowship, intelligence, or perception in this case?
I'm gonna assume that fellowship is the highest for you.
Let me check actually.
Either way, it's the one that makes the most sense.
Funnily enough, intelligence would make the most sense. Would actually be higher, but I'm gonna go with fellowship on this case because that's kind of.
Do you spend the plot?
2 degrees.
Okay.
Okay. So.
Isn't that 2? Isn't that 2 successes?
Yeah,
It is.
2.
So,
Oh,
I will give you this. You know that the rogue trader himself was trained by the Ministorum of all things. His education was entrusted to the clergy. And he has members of other imperial institutions from, well, different planets in the sector acting as his senior crew. Possibly people who were in some way contacts. Yeah. There is a member of the Administratum and a member or next member of the Arbites. who
Yeah,
generally maintain. He's essentially the chief security officer.
got it. So even though he was the governor's, governor family, it's not. He's not. He's more connected to clergy rather than the administratum in this case. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. And one last person that really cements that he was not entirely shit at the clergy stuff. He has somehow got a sororitas pilot on board.
Wow, that is impressive. Yeah.
Not a sister of battle, mind you, but still from a monastic order.
Yeah, just having an individual of the Adeptus Sororitas is impressive in its own.
Mm-hmm. So, while he might have a somewhat shit ship and resources, he's wealthy,
Yes.
incompetent people.
Yeah, not really surprising when you're basically the top on Malphite.
He's probably like 5th or 6th in the line of succession before exile.
Fair. Still a very prominent position.
Mm-hmm. And
Though that is, I'm sorry, just one question though. Since he was actually, because we know that he was bringing stuff from in the rooms that I've been mostly in, which is presumably the most lavish places he has kind of available that he can represent. Does it feel like he has anything that might stand out a bit unique in here, like that he might have either had or possibly been brought in, just something that feels unique?
nothing that stands out as a great archaeotech treasure, at least not where you can see it.
Got it.
And yes, you are halfway through a game of Regicide when the alarm goes off. And, the lights start flashing. He looks at you once, moderately suspiciously, and stands up. "Excuse me, I must attend to this."
Understandable. However, this couldn't be possibly a drill of some sorts, right? Nothing to worry, right?
Please make use of the drinks cabinet, and there are some books in the shelves if you wish to amuse yourself, but I really must go. Excuse me.
Understandable.
He leaves the room.
Okay. So,
Someone
I know
fucked
that.
up.
I'm aware of that.
The guy that was with him stays here. You're not that far from the bridge, presumably he's heading there.
Yes. Do you have perhaps any idea of what's going on?
Sorry,
I don't
sir.
wish to be alone.
Just meant to make sure you're safe from the crew.
Can I ask a favor then in that case, since I do have some of my own, the Inquisitors, rather men here on board as well. I want to keep them safe as well.
I'm sure the guides assigned to them will make sure they're fine.
Understandable.
I can pass a message along if you wish to have them return to their rooms.
Yes, I would not like them to actually be, it shouldn't. The crew here is quite competent from, the few days and a little bit of bragging, so I believe that they're gonna be alright, right? They're
The
all very
officer
competent.
crew is excellent, sir, I can assure you. The rest of the crew is from the Underhives of Malphite, and I would not go down some corridors at night alone, sir.
And if I may ask, what is your position exactly?
Junior lieutenant.
Quite high up, I see. However, if there was something on board going on, now I have an entire drinks cabinet here, but wouldn't it be quite actually beneficial of you to go and assist the situation?
I am assisting the situation, sir, by keeping you safe.
Understandable on that, Cord. But we are in an unfamiliar system. What if it's a Xeno attack?
Roll scrutiny.
Okay. Base?
Take a +10.
No.
Nope. Sir, I'm sure the captain will handle it. And there is a friendly Imperial cruiser very nearby.
Right. I'm a little bit panicky at times. Not a combatant myself, as you can see on me. Very well.
Would you perhaps prefer to return to your room, sir?
Well, if the rogue trader comes back quickly, then I believe it would be a bit rude, wouldn't it?
I'm sure he would understand, sir.
Well, in that case, let us then, shall we?
Okay. He is gonna escort you to your room and leave you there. The way this is set up is that there is usually 2 guards, one at either end of the hallway of the quarters section that your delegation occupies.
Mm-hmm.
And you generally get individual guides, usually 1 per person if you're going somewhere else. You at least always have a bodyguard from the inquisitorial team with you.
Yeah.
If it's like a larger group, like 4 or 5, there might be 2 or 3 people with them, depending on how high ranking the one actual. It would be usually 2 guards for a larger group. So, generally speaking, if you're in your quarters, you don't have an escort always in your face. There's just one that's keeping an eye on the area. Well, 2, but,
Right.
opposite ends.
But going back, will I be able to find somebody from my team, essentially?
You can ask to pass a message along. If you go over there, about half of them are going to be in one of the rooms.
Yeah, I kind of want it to not be sent over. I kind of want it to be myself. Because essentially what I want to essentially plan on doing is, for those that are a bit more experienced.
Keep in mind, you would know this from Malphite. If he's acting as standard Malphite nobility, any number of listening devices are probably in your quarters and in the corridor and in most places you frequent regularly.
Bless them. Though those are listening devices, right?
Might be cameras as well, depends on just how paranoid he is, but the chances of the rooms being at least bugged for sound are pretty high.
Yeah.
That's kind of like standard procedure.
I'm trying to think of a way of possibly communicating a message over, but I'm not good at ciphers.
You could just try writing it out, and if there is a camera, you can sort of cover the most obvious angles, and it will be obvious that you're, passing something along to anyone watching, but...
I do have an autoquill, I have a writing kit, and I have the best data slate as well.
The autoquill generally would be something like dictating and it writing down for you, so that won't really help. But you can easily find a writing implement even if you did not have one.
Don't really have any, because I don't know really. Don't really have a. It's not one of those. Remember from when we played first edition where we had like an acolyte cipher just between. I wish you had that as well.
You can take like ciphers that are unique to Arminius' acolytes, and but you have not invested in setting something like that up.
What to do? Because like, I myself am a kind of a high priority target. I can't do much on my own, which is essentially why I kind of wanted to pass over a message that essentially have our team sort of, because they're able to blend in a lot more. To essentially, be on patrol.
Mm-hmm. It's about 1 kilometer of starship.
Oh, I'm aware.
Okay.
But at the same time, like, for these officers that are quite knowledgeable, they should be able to follow where most individuals are going toward.
If there's a large concentration, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to pass a message in some safe-ish way to essentially get them to watch for where all the security is running to.
Running to, yes, and if you notice any of our guys, do note, help in some sly ways.
They wouldn't know the team by their faces necessarily unless you made this executive decision to show them the faces of the actual agents before coming here. So that's kind of up to you if they would recognize them.
Ooh, that would have to be a pre-planning thing.
Because as is, they're the grey stuff you're supposed to blend into after a fashion. The less people know, the less chance that someone will, through body language or anything, give something away.
Got it. So I'll just want them to info gather for the time being.
Okay. So, roll me a crew rating with plus 30 for the hammer demi.
Let me find a hammer.
So that's versus a
I think it is
70.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be 6 degrees, right?
Yes. Jackalor. Zarkov, carrying the smashed to pieces tech priest, walks into the Medicaid bay. It's not a large Medicaid bay. Certainly nothing compared to the Medicaid deck of the Hammer of Light. There's about room for 40 or 50 people here. It's a standard-sized infirmary. But standing in one of the corners, talking to like one of the doctors and a nurse, with a guard behind him, is a person in the uniform of the Hammer of Light. He glances in your direction, doesn't seem to recognize you, but the eye lingers just for an instant as he takes in the sight.
I would make a hell of a sight, yeah. Covered in blood, carrying a tech priest.
Do you wish to wink at him? The armed man is meanwhile telling you, put him down there. Yes, gently, gently. Don't jostle him.
But yeah, this would be the seal, right?
I don't know what it would be. I'm asking you if you want to try.
I don't think. Yeah, he wouldn't. It's too dangerous.
Okay. You put down the tech priest. Gently, there are doctors and nurses rushing over. One of them pulls out scissors, starts cutting away the robe, stops when they see implants, like, what the fuck do I do with this? Start stabbing away at the blood. You see the jaw moving away. Definitely shouldn't. What do you do? The answer is his account. Okay, you did good, crewman. Now let the doctors work. Well, come on. Come on, we have work to do.
I follow him.
Okay. He says, okay, you look like you have a good head in a crisis. He takes you to an arms locker and starts unlocking it. He pulls out a stab automatic, 2 extra clips, and hands them to you. Here, take this. We're going to go looking for whoever did this.
nod.
You can add a normal quality stab automatic to your list of equipment. It is essentially a semi-automatic pistol. I believe it has 9 rounds, a 1d10 plus 2, if I recall properly, and can fire 1 or 3 bullets, depending on firing mode. So it's a shit sidearm. Something like 30, I think. You can look it up in the core book if you need to check, but essentially, when shit goes down, they arm the crew with shitty weapons and throw them in the fire. You've been volunteered.
Yay.
Okay, he is gonna start leading you back towards where you came. For the moment, well, there are other crew members moving around. You have not been joined by a larger group of armsmen, but with the way he's speaking into his earpiece, it sounds an awful lot like he's trying to join up with a posse.
I'll try to make sure. I'll try to find a moment where I'm alone with him, and then like take him down.
Okay. So, make a stealth check. You do not have the benefits of the chameleon cloak,
Yep, it's hidden.
but I will give you a plus 20.
Emperor, guide me. Nice.
Okay. You may take your surprise round with the, I think we said plus 30 for an unaware target.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of see a door where it looks like a supply room of some sort. And you just show sort of... He's going past the doorway. You lengthen your stride to catch up to him and turn to attack as he's next to the doorway, so you can just sort of punch him through it and drive him back into the room.
Yeah. Lightning. Do I get a full turn?
You can double attack if you wish. You can just unload on him. Are you taking your full damage?
Probably, yeah.
Does this technically qualify as no evidence left behind?
Well, there's gonna be a body in a fucking room, but other than the horribly beat up corpse, I don't.
I
think
know
so.
that bodies are made out of atoms, but when you slice them to atoms, I don't. think
Unfortunately, it does not unless someone manages to yeet the tech priest before he wakes. So, Yeah, so he just turns to you. What? Punch to the throat, to the head, to the gut with the elbow, driving him back. Just uppercut, laying him out on the floor. And then just with a foot on his throat and his head twice more just to make sure. Walk out, brush off. Close the door. Unless you wish to try and claim his uniform and his shotgun.
This uniform is completely blood spattered.
Most of the blood stayed inside here. It would be less blood spattered, it would be a little blood spattered, but a lot less than your clothing.
Yeah, I'll switch to his uniform.
Okay, that will take something like 15 minutes as you strip off his armsman flak armor. Jessen,
Yes.
You have one of the officers return. Maybe 20 minutes after you sent out the keep an eye out message, and just starts rapidly writing.
Alright.
Acolyte fucked up in infirmary. Head magos of ship furious. Was encouraged to return here. They think it's serious.
What can we do? I'll, just simply, like, nod, because there's not much that else that needs to be confirmed. Fuck, I don't have a plan. It's like, can't do much without being, like, straight out there in the open.
Mm-hmm. You could inquire to the senior crew what's going on.
I mean, I kind of already have have information. It's more of how to exactly, what exactly can I do on my part? Because I need to give them essentially a way out. The problem is I don't know exactly how to do that from my position.
Mm-hmm. But they haven't been caught yet either, which is presumably good.
Yeah.
The biggest part is making contact, and that kind of is up to them. So what you can do is prepare something, either as a distraction to hopefully pull the pressure off of them, or as a way out when either it looks like the noose is tightening or when they make contact.
Yeah, huh. The only plan that I have in my mind right now for something to potentially work, right? Because if they were to get out, they need to get somehow back onto the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they can't just go here to there. That's no. So I need to have them find a way for them to actually somehow get down to the planet. And then we can pick them up from there.
Or we could make our way to the cargo bay where your lighter is.
Or hide there, yeah.
It
Yeah, that's...
would kind of be like that was the original idea. There are, you gotta say, like 2 guards from your ship on it, and it would be a diplomatic incident for them to search that, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their way out, being smuggled out, essentially. But,
I don't know the acolytes that great, but I'll see about having one of the officers, essentially in a just in case, because reasons, to see about going back to our own lander and to keep it safe, but in reality just sort of seeing about prepping the inside
mm-hmm.
for just to have the box already open so you can get the fuck in,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep, he's gonna try and make his way to the shuttle. Meanwhile, in a certain vent duct where 2 heroes jumped in, the alarms are going off. Presumably the security is off. What would you like to do? The vent and the camera leading towards the laboratorium is open.
Well, I'd like to say I probably would have ordered Luke to throw a few frag and concussion grenades over where the bodies were and into the room if possible, to try and damage their brains of the
You went running at the You would have to come back, essentially.
Oh well.
If you wish to take the risk of going back, that's something you can do, but fair warning. You would have to actually go back, not retcon it.
Okay, I guess we'll just have to make this quick.
Okay. You creep forwards. Zarkov will have to be left behind. He's lost. Maybe
His
he'll...
cover's not blown yet, other than,
Yeah, but it's
the
Zarkov,
face
so...
on
You creep forward, past the camera ever so carefully. It does not seem to be turning to track you, at least, so that's positive. It claims that it is, the little recording light is on, but if you did it right, that shouldn't matter. It should be sending a looped picture back. So, it's really a question of if you're about to get surprised. The hatch up ahead, it's locked and closed, obviously, at least on this side, so I'm not gonna make you do another security roll for this hatchway. You can pry it open and peek through. Would you like to do that immediately, or would you like to wait?
I guess we might as well do it immediately.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me. The Cameline Cloak will not help with this, but you can take a plus 20. It's a fucking abomination. The deadbolts just... as you unlock them.
You roll that?
Sure, I'll re-roll that. Fine.
Alright. Show us the even higher failure.
It's worse. Shocking.
When you hear the screech, you instinctively pause. Would you like to continue?
Yeah.
Okay. You push it open and head into the room. It looks like a lab of some kind with several machines and tables here, and you duck down behind one as Loot follows you out. And pretty much immediately you hear the clomp, 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 clomp of what you presume are servitors.
Great.
I'm gonna need another stealth check. The Cameline Cloak helps, but this one is flat. Because you're trying to...
Okay. And barely passed.
Okay. You are pressed up against the machine, the cloak turning grey, and watching wide-eyed as an acolyte walks not 2 feet from you and goes to the hatch, opens it, peers inside, looks around like what the fuck, pulls up a data pad, slots in a thing, beep 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 beep. Beep. Huh. And then he just goes next to the catch and starts caressing you. I know we haven't had time to maintain you lately, but do you really have to breach security like this? I'm sorry, okay? I'm so sorry. He pulls out a vial of oils and just pours a little in his hand, starts rubbing it slowly. See, isn't that better, my dear? You don't need to do this. You, please be loyal to us. We'll take good care of you, I promise. I know we've been bad to you, but we'll be better, I promise.
Is this the hallmark of an abusive relationship?
This isn't Warhammer 40k. This is anal sex.
He's appeasing the machine spirit, Demi.
He's attempting to.
He peers inside again. Beep. Acolyte row 212. I see, what look like two Eldari being very still down the hatchway in the laboratorium, sir.
I forgot to close the vent.
Roger that, sir. He shrugs down the las gun from his back, kneels next to the hatch, and just sort of awkwardly shuffles to put down the hatchway.
Now they think it's an Eldari attack.
Presumably he called for reinforcements and was told to hold the line until they get here. You might not have much time now.
Okay.
You can take a +10 on the next stealth roll. Because he's distracted to sneak out of this room and go looking for the Men of Iron.
Okay, let's do that then. You said a +10?
Mm-hmm. On top of the what you get for the Cameline cloak.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
You're like a ghost. The fool can't even maintain a hatch properly. You and Loot head into the laboratorium. Most of the areas here seem mostly pristine. Some of them hold disassembled devices, mostly broken. A couple look like they might have active screens attached to them, but most anything that still looks valuable has combat servitors next to it. And as you creep along, you are able to make your way to a larger chamber where there are heavy machines hanging from the ceiling to presumably help disassemble any artifacts or machine them into place. And laid out on 4 slabs are 4 iron figures in various states of disassembly. There are, I'm gonna say, 4 more combat servitors in here, and 2 acolytes in red robes that are milling around confusedly, just sort of throwing glances uneasily at the Men of Iron, and sort of giving for all their worth off a look like, well, we're still on the clock, but what the fuck are we supposed to do? Like, Loot just sort of meaningfully hefts his sniper rifle.
I assume the door is shut behind us.
You leave the doors as you find them, essentially. You're kind of looking down at the room. There's a walkway up over it where you can sort of maintain the machinery itself that sort of snakes down on giant mechadendrites and manipulator arms. But...
And that's where we are?
Yep. I'll give you a second to think of a plan. Should you be able to come up with one. Jackalor, you have an armsman uniform. You smell slightly of bleach since you presumably took the opportunity to wipe down the worst of the blood.
Yep. Oh, I likely won't be able to make my way into the laboratorium now.
You do have a truncheon and a shotgun to add to your armory now. should you wish to. I think your hands are more deadly than the truncheon, though.
Yeah, they are.
So you just hang it by your side and put the shotgun on to make it look like you're one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And make your way towards the lab or somewhere else.
If I wanted to cause a distraction, like, do I have a microbead or something with that taps into the comms?
You do now, after you killed that dude.
Yeah. So if I can listen into their conversations, right?
Mm-hmm. Turn it on.
I know where are they going right now? We think is the enemy is.
You hear instructions that people are supposed to gather at different checkpoints on the channel that it was set to. Essentially,
Yeah.
there are several locations of checkpoints, all of them conveniently relatively near to the lab, that essentially armsmen who are not on vital duty gather at these locations as soon as possible.
What if I went to like do I have an idea at this point how the ship's layout?
You had schematics you took a careful look at,
Mm-hmm.
so you have a general idea, yes.
Is
Sure.
there a critical component I'm near to that I could sabotage, effectively try and create a distraction so they go there instead?
Okay, you are currently in the crew quarters section. About 6 levels above you would be the bridge, and about 2 levels down you have the main life support.
Did the Inquisitor say anything about damaging ship systems of the ship?
Not in so many words, he did not think he had to.
Fair enough, what about,
The armsman did not have explosives on him. You would...
I'm not going to sabotage it, actually. I'm just going to draw their attention away from the laboratorium. Like, make it look like someone's trying to cause an explosion.
Okay, where do you go?
To the life support.
Okay. You head down towards the life support. Several times, people throw glances at you as they're rushing towards the checkpoints. And one time, what looks like an officer asks, Armsman, where are you going? What's your mission? As men are rushing past, looking half asleep, still, straightening their flak vests.
I'm changing watches.
Sorry, son. Normal operations are suspended. We're hunting for intruders. Come on, let's go. You drop in behind the officer and his 3 armsmen? Or would you like to try and... Vamonos.
I'll drop in and try and get just lose myself in the crowd.
Well, there's not much of a crowd. The normal crew seems to be staying the fuck out of the way of this. This sounds like bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Make me a stealth check. Flat, I would say. Actually, no. Take a plus 20. Because they're not paying attention to you. They expect you to obey. But you can't use the camoline cloak.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll actually... Do you have quick draw?
Let me check. I don't think so. I do not.
Okay, then no, I won't let you. If you had, I would say that you could just like around the corner and put it on, so maybe, but no.
Yeah. Okay. Emperor. May I have faith? Nice.
Okay. You disentangle yourself from the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Did you roll it wrong, Jackalor?
Let me check.
Because you should have a -10 on
Yes,
agility
you must have
rolls.
-10.
Boo, his boo. I'm sorry, Jackalor, it's gonna be 100 now.
I need to reroll that.
I'm sorry, Jackalor, it'll be even worse now. So, you yeet around the corner, and you think you got to end it when you hear, hold up, trooper! And you hear them coming.
I saw someone.
Roll the save. They rush around the corner. What did you see, trooper? The difficulty will depend on exactly what you tell them you saw. Some things they will buy more easily.
I was just going to use it to get an opportunity to do Whirlwind of Death down.
Okay, but you're still, as he's coming around the corner, still a couple of steps away, he's asking what you saw.
Yeah. A figure heading this way.
Roll the save.
That?
+10, because they might have been warned about the Inquisition maybe trying something funky.
Oof.
Oh.
He just sort of holds up a hand. The others stop. Still a couple of steps away, and he just looks at you. I'm disappointed in you. Hand over your truncheon, your gun, and your badge, son.
I walk up to him and hand them over and Whirlwind of Death him.
It's not your badge, though.
So, you can catch him and one other guy who's preparing to cuff you. The other two are sort of holding their shotguns half raised, ready for you to be a stupid cunt.
Yeah, then I wouldn't bother with Whirlwind of Death and just go and lightning attack them.
Okay.
No aim. Lightning. I assume I don't get surprise bonus?
No. You're lucky you get an attack without going immediately into initiative.
Okay, that misses. And second attack. That's better. It's 5 degrees. I'm going to split, since they're both equally easy to hit, I'm going to do 3 against the officer and 2 against the other guy, the other armsman.
Actually, that is wrong. They don't have dodge, so they're rolling at -20 for these. So, one of them negates both hits.
I
And
get 2 or 3 attacks.
so, the officer, I'm gonna say, gets hit by all of them. But you would effectively have to divide them beforehand. So, officer
Yeah.
gets 3 and the other guy gets none.
I was doing, so yeah, 3 against the officer.
Mm-hmm. So, your muscles bulge and you just rip into him. And the armsman one of them just sort of yanks himself backwards. The others lower their shotguns. One of them screams, "Mutant!" Roll initiative. Though
Oh damn, they rolled bad.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be able to whirlwind of death here. Yeah. So, they're all nicely clumped up, clutching at their shotguns. And you have the initiative. You can step in between them and just go nuts.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go nuts. And do the standard attacks from Whirlwind of Death.
Okay, so it will be 2 standard attacks against each if you're going with the double tap.
Yeah.
And keep in mind you still... Each of these counts as a 2-weapon attack, so you'll be taking the -20s on those.
No, I don't, because we have 2-weapon master.
Oh, right. Never mind, you're right. Let me just see if any of them can dodge worth a shit. Nope. So, that's 1 hit. Keep rolling. We'll see if anyone is still left when this is done.
Misses.
Oof.
So 1 attack against the first guy. One against the second.
Are we dead?
Jackalor is trying to take down 4 armsmen by himself with his hands and feet.
Fucking not seriously.
Nope.
He's just playing a monk at this point.
Yep.
He literally could pull it off, yeah.
So, go ahead and roll damages. Let's see how this goes. You kill all of them. They have 6 soak and 8 health, and they're mooks, so they die when they go into criticals. So you just sort of, one of them starts, "Mutant!" Elbow to the throat, you hear the spine crack. Just smash another one's head into the wall. Kick the last one in the gut, then follow him down and just punch through his nose into his brain. You now have an officer's microbead, or a sergeant's.
Somewhere on the internet, there's a video of you taking down 3 men in 4 seconds.
This is why we don't violate the masquerade, fledgling!
So yeah, I'll pick up the officer's microbead and then continue heading to the...
Okay. Be advised, all teams, we might have Eldari survivors on board. Brief your men and move in large groups, and for the love of the Emperor, stay spread out. You know what their weapons can do.
Huh. Suspicious.
You're slightly more blood splattered now, though, Jackalor.
Yeah, no.
So, you approach the life support. There are guards on duty here. It looks like 2 are guarding the entryway ahead of you.
I don't know if it's locked, do I?
Nope.
But I'm going to assume it is.
You could have picked the officer's badge.
Hmm. Yeah.
But then Zarkov is not a great thinker, so he's probably realizing that now.
Yep. Can I attempt to do navigate surface to get another entryway here?
Generally speaking, you are in the Imperial Guard, unless they're completely incompetent, which it seems like they're half a step above that. The vital areas will have at least a few guards left.
No, I meant somewhere that isn't likely to be locked.
I'm gonna say that you're approaching along one of the main ways in, which is the least likely to be locked. The back ways are more likely to be secured by locks.
I'm going to start running up to them and say, like, round the corner and run up to them saying, Dildari, they're over there. They're just coming around the corner.
Did it give you a look like... Who? You don't... Oh, the red fucking ghost! Shit!
And then when I'm close enough, I'm going to try and lightning attack both of them.
They're completely unawares.
Do we even have to roll at this point? We know what's gonna happen to them.
Well, you're making for a great distraction. Good job.
No aim. Lightning. Plus 30. No aim. Lightning. Plus 30. I'm going to reroll that. That's a hit.
Okay. Now, by my count, you need 15 damage on the second one to kill him in one hit.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is
Awesome.
probably dead. Yeah.
Okay. Big whammy, big whammy.
Well, there's still one attack left because
Big whammy.
there's
Oh,
four would be the
right.
first one.
Because you can... Of course you can.
Nice.
You rip
No,
out his...
November's
Roll to
really-
confirm.
You rip out his heart and you show it to him and just drop it at his feet.
What the fuck?
They're gonna definitely think this is Eldar.
You slam your bloody handprint on the controls and enter the humming air reprocessors of the life support system.
I'm going to try and make as much of a ruckus here as possible before, like, make it look like, sound like I'm trying to break something, then fade away into the rest of the ship and towards the hangars.
Okay. You try and make a ruckus. Do you have something like demolitions?
Is that even a skill?
Okay, so you start shoving shotgun shells in an appropriate pipe opening and look for a hammer.
Here we go.
Can I roll Imperial Guard with this?
Sure. With -10, because you probably heard stories about people attempting this, but at the same time.
Emperor, may you be my light, so I may ward away the darkness. Nope.
Okay. You're wearing flak armor. What's your toughness?
3.
Okay, you don't take any damage from the backblast.
They're going to run the fuck away.
Okay. Jason, you've been hearing reports about the alarm level presumably rising, and about half an hour later after you receive that report, you are told to stay in your quarters and the situation will be resolved presently.
Are you sure you have this situation under?
Nothing to worry about, sir.
Right. All right.
None of your officers went down to take a look at the life sustainers, did they, sir?
I have a question. Are my officers going to have to assist in whatever threat that is on board?
No, sir. Just making sure they're safe. Chekolor, we're gonna leave you for a second here, but I want to give you one final image. As the airlock doors start to lower and the air starts getting vented from the compartment. Chinzia, the acolytes spend a while just looking confused. Do you have a plan for dealing with them?
I'll leave Luke hiding under his cloak
Mm-hmm.
and walk a bit further down the catwalk, and then say, "Acolytes, the Eldari are back. Take the servitors with you and go move to defend further in."
Okay. Roll me a deceive with a -10.
I'd like to spend a fate point for the +10.
If you
If
wish.
it's allowed.
That is certainly allowed.
And I'll spend a fate point to re-roll that.
Alright.
Yay. God fucking damn it.
Our orders are to guard these. Wait a second, I'm just gonna ask for confirmation from the Magos. Just triggers the micro bead. Now, I don't think loot is likely to miss from short range with a aim.
Nope. I think he has over 100.
So,
And I mean, inescapable attack plus called shots.
Well, not call shot, so he gets some surprise. Call shot means you can't aim.
No, called shot. We made it so that you can aim.
Oh, we did?
It's a half action now.
well, it wouldn't matter in this case.
You
But
can't aim it if it's a half action because you have to shoot as well.
That's the called shot. The called shot is you're declaring you're shooting at a specific area.
okay, I think that's enough. So the acolyte starts to just walks and just bang, flies backwards to the ground, not moving.
Shit.
The other acolyte just looks up. The servitors just start moving in front of him. Threat detected, opening fire. Brrrr! 4 of them in that general direction.
I'll run away from loot.
I think they hit on like a 30 with a heavy stubber. How does that work out? I think he takes a hit or 2.
Yep, he does.
So he dodges 2
that's-
and 2 hit. So what I need is the Combat Servitor of Glory. So he has 3 armor and 3 toughness. So he takes 5 and 3 from that. So he's at 8. Okay, what would you like to do while he's distracting them? Currently, none of them are focusing on you. The Acolyte is yelling obscenities at whoever done that, and the servitors are happily trying to empty their belts of ammo into that general direction.
Is there any way down from this catwalk?
Well, there's like a ladder, so you can just sort of grab the sides and try and slide down.
I guess I'll do that then.
Okay, you slide down. You can see the back of the Acolyte behind the servitors. And he, at this point, he yells out, "Cease fire! Cease fire! He must be dead by now!" They stop.
They're Eldari. They might still be there, for all we know. I need you to fucking go secure... Well... He might come back, I don't know.
Kia looks at the hole in the other Acolyte's chest, looks up at you. That is not a shuriken catapult wound.
They might have secured our own weapons. They probably ran out.
What is your operating designation? I have not seen you at the tech shrine before. Servitors, take aim. What would you like to say?
Comes back.
It's just the nose of a rifle pokes through the chew-through catwalk where it opens. Now, onto, you know, an open fall after all those bullets. And just sort of... just... eyes go dead. Plonk! The servitor's turn. Threat detected. Open fire. Brrr!
That's a hit.
Mm-hmm. He's wise to their ways now. He has their timing. So the servitors now are just... they don't stop. They just go brrrt, brrrt, brrrt. Just repeatedly the general direction. Until it's just click, click, click. Ammo exhausted. Engaging melee. They run to the wall and start trying to climb up using the chain axe.
So I think would my character have a vague notion of where amongst the Men of Iron's forms would be their memory banks?
You're supposed to recover a as functioning one as possible, or at least it's he doesn't just want the memory, he wants to be able to talk to one, because he doesn't necessarily believe that it'll be that easy to hack the memory of one if he doesn't have the infrastructure. That's the difficult bit. But after having made plenty of noise and spent several minutes making a fuck ton of noise, Lou just sort of leans over the edge. Bang! 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 You are in the room with the prize. The consoles, well, they have the equivalent of Windows key L pressed, so they're, just essentially locked, but it looks like they just locked them, and whoever was actually in charge of the stuff went to handle something else. You're alone here for the moment. You might not have a lot of time.
I think I'm gonna have to hack the console on time.
Okay. Give me a security check. You have the multi-key, but yeah, I'm gonna say with the multi-key it's gonna be flat. Because this is proper Mechanicum cogitators and laboratorium, effectively. Or at least that level of tech. Okay, it takes you a little while. But, so, Jason. Things are apparently getting nervous. A squad of armsmen arrives, dressed in armor and armed with shotguns and autoguns, about 12 of them, and he tells you that you and your men should follow them to the bridge where it will be safer.
Understandable. I'll follow up. Get the men to prep and blah.
No, there's not a lot of prep time. They tell you must follow immediately because it's dangerous here.
Alright.
So, when you arrive on the bridge, the captain is standing in the middle, just yelling orders. Get us underway. I don't care. Bring the engines online. Get the stealth fields on. We are pulling away from the damn planet. And find me whoever sent those raiders!
Wait, are we getting... I'm not confused. Is this place getting double attacked?
The displays show just a hammer calmly sitting a ways away, and nothing else on the screens. On another display are sections of the ship. The life sustainer is colored in red, and there's an slowly expanding circle of red around one side of the laboratorium, where presumably more hostiles are. And there's icons for squads of armsmen trying to hem them in.
Well, I'm going to presume this isn't good. I'll just see about inquiring exactly what's happening, because I think even at this point, Jas is confused. Like, okay, Xenos were not supposed to be a part of this, even though I made it feel like a lie. What the hell is going on?
So, as soon as he notes you, he rounds on you. You! You lying piece of shit! Why did you not tell me this system was infested with the Eldari?
Side note, though, just to ask a question before, didn't we technically notify the rogue trader that?
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure we did give him proper warning.
That's why our Geller field is down. That's why we're not moving. Like, we hadn't had an explanation for that in some reason.
Would you have? Because that's a sign of weakness.
I mean, even if we didn't, we did throw out a
Okay.
It was part of the diplomatic warning bullshit.
Right, but that was just a generic
back and
infested by Xenos. You didn't specifically, I think, mention the Eldari, necessarily.
No, don't remember. I feel like we would have, because we don't really have a better explanation of why our Giller field is down.
Supposedly they don't know that Gallowfield is down. They just think we're staying here for some.
We're just
reason.
staying there, our ship locked on them, just looking at them for like a month.
Constantly
Like,
scanning them, they're like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to do my job while he's just standing there watching me?
menacingly.
Menacingly T-posing.
Oh, God bless.
He motions at one of the consoles. The lieutenant just there salutes, pulls up a picture on the hololith. It's a picture of 2 Eldari corpses in a vent.
I'm kind of baffled, both because it's like I'm baffled not that there's Eldari, because we know that there's like, I'm baffled that like, are the Eldari here again? How?
His ship, if they are stranded here, his ship might be easier to seize than the Hammer. They might be trying to take the ship to escape. And the Hammer can't fly through the warp anyway.
We knew of Xenos on the planet. If this is the case, do you require assistance? We have competent officers here to help with the situation.
Oof.
I'm not making that as an insult. I'm making that.
I thought you said you killed the Xenos that were here.
We gave the information that we were known of. What can we do to help? Obviously, there's been a misunderstanding somewhere. But at least if it's on our part, let us rectify that on possible.
One of the bridge crew reports, Sir, Empyrean Mantle coming online. Rigging for running silent. There, Sir, the Hammer of Light is hailing us. What should I say? Say nothing. Pull away from them.
Excuse me?
Armsmen, disarm our guests.
You know, I had a quick feeling that this might happen. Understandable. I'm aware of...
The officers have their hands, by the way, both their armsmen and your officers have their hands on their guns at this point.
Yes, no. We have right now a threat on this ship. Your ship specifically. But there's a threat. The last thing we need to do is have a conflict between us on the bridge. So can we work together to solve this Xenos, to get rid of the Xeno scum? Or are we just stuff going to happen?
Make a charm test at -20, Demi.
Understandable. I'm going to spend a fate point for a +10, so that's going to be only a minus. I'm going to re-roll that. So that's going to be dropping me to 2 fate points. Please don't.
Oh,
I hate it. No, I don't have anything for charm.
He turns towards you and glares. Pulls back his robe, exposing the bolt pistol, and puts his hand on it. Hand over your weapons.
Well, if it's going to be like this, officers, we're on another person's ship. Let's not break etiquette. Hand over the weapons. And, well, I have a long glass. It's kind of weird carrying it, so it might be somewhere else.
It would make sense if it was with you, actually, strangely enough, but The officers reluctantly start handing over their sidearms. So, you have a frontline view of their efforts to hunt down the Xenos. There were reports coming in of a trail of blood. They believe some kind of an Eldari assassin, possibly one of the psychic ones, is on board, who has disassembled a line of arms leading towards the life support in hand to hand with immense force, possibly using psychic abilities to augment their strength.
Very valid.
And there have been, apparently there's a report coming in of signs of a major assault to the laboratorium. Massed gunfire. Which suddenly went quiet all at once. Deeply suspicious and ominous. Just sort of thinks for a moment. Alright, it's time. Start arming the crew. Meanwhile, Jackalor, the doors seem to have closed and the air is slowly going away. What do?
I need to get out of here.
Okay, how's your security roll? Okay, make me a strength roll at -10 to break into a emergency locker for a void suit or barring that or a breather.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll even let you keep re-rolling this, but each time you fail, you're gonna take fatigue. As the air runs out. Okay? You should potentially have some fatigue already, I believe, from the planet.
I'm going to eat this thing.
Okay, so you take a moment. Okay, so that will keep... You're still gonna take fatigue, because that doesn't go away, but the stim suppresses it temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's weird, sounds seem awfully muted now. Okay, how high on fatigue, or how close to your threshold are you?
I am over it already.
Okay,
Fuck.
keep going.
Nope.
How close are you to double your threshold?
3 steps away.
Okay.
All that strength for nothing.
This is ridiculous.
And you got a 30% chance.
Fucking hell!
Okay. I'm gonna stop this
Got
here.
one last chance.
So, you're running on fumes, just prying it open desperately, when hands grab you from behind and shove a rebreather mask over your face and you can breathe again. You turn around and you see armsmen, a full squad of them, bearing shotguns and in void suits. One of them just looks at you and sort of taps their ear. Like, what the fuck, what's with your microbeat?
I was listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make. It's on, right?
Weird. Now that you think about it and you try and trigger it, you're not getting carrier signal, almost as if it's locked out or something.
Fucking hell, of course it is. I shrug my shoulders and prepare to fall over unconscious due to the steam running out.
Okay. So, you fall unconscious, and you wake in the infirmary. You have been stripped out of your armor, and there is a man standing over you along with 2 armsmen. Trooper. You recognize him from before. He asserted his authority.
Oof.
Trooper, did you see the intruder? Trooper, focus!
They killed everyone, never got the chance.
What did they look like? What did you see? He grabs you. Answer me, man! The ship may be in danger!
Tall, thin.
Okay. Make me a deceive with plus 30.
Do I take my fatigue into account for this?
Oh, yes. But you can reset it to 1 below your threshold.
What if I have more, double my fatigue or the attribute I'm rolling?
I think you still just take like a minus 20 on it.
So I'm rolling at minus 10. 13% chance.
Good luck, Jackalor.
Rolls a 2.
Emperor, guide my soul immortal. Nope.
Something doesn't add up, Trooper. You notice now that one of your arms is manacled to the bed. He motions to someone behind you, and you just sort of twist around and see 2 nurses come and start wheeling the gurney. I'm sorry, Trooper, but the filthy Xenos use psychic tricks to mess with people's minds. We're gonna have to take you to the astropaths to check you out.
Time to kill an astropath.
Oh God!
Jinzia.
You gonna knock me out with that?
No, they just escort you there.
Ah.
So, while you're traveling, and feel free to think of a plan, Jinzia, you have hacked into the consoles. Well, there is an alarm. Secure all sensitive materials and secure locations. Ship under Xenos attack. And there's a special warning for this location. Masked gunfire detected in location. Stay put, or if you're next to a section with more gun servitors, link up with your neighbors. But if there's any empty space Between you and another section, stay put. Extremely dangerous. Forces gathering to clean the area.
That's concerning. Any information on the Men of Iron? And if there's any intact ones at all around here?
None of them are intact enough to be turned on their own. Effectively, you might be able to assemble 2, maybe even 3 working ones from what's here with some reconstruction. But you would have to take one more or less complete body and some pieces from the other ones to guarantee you could turn it on the ship. Not that it looks like what they were doing. Mostly it looks like okay, is there any danger of them turning on? Worst case scenario. And then they list it and how close they are to self-repairing or how much effort it would take. And then it's a list of all the valuable items and their estimated prices at Forge Worlds. And if anything is of an unknown pattern, like, ooh, they seem to have short implanted power blades and implanted plasma weapons. And then there's a recommendation of which Forge Worlds might be interested in studying this more closely, or which nobles, where you might sell this. He's banned from going to Malphite, but he can still contact people indirectly, and it's just like a list of recommendations of how do we turn this into money? It looks like they were tending more towards just cutting them apart for parts than doing something heretical.
Good. Okay. Which of these would be just barely intact enough that, like, even with its limbs stripped off, we'd be able to make it somewhat functional enough to converse?
Well, effectively you would have to strip some parts out of one of the other ones. And if you wanted to strip limbs off, that's definitely a good idea. It would make it easier to transport, though it might make it more salty once you woke it. For obvious reasons. It depends on how much time you want to take. There are anti-grav pallets here, so you could just use the manipulator arms to load it on one of those, but they're like pretty big things, and the Men of Iron themselves, like if you've seen the new Battlestar Galactica, they're like a Cylon, so they're like 7 foot something tall. Big hunks of metal, so they're not the smallest of things to, transport.
Chris,
well, no, let's just let you do that first.
Please don't kill any more people.
No, I was just thinking about the tea. I'm reading out on it, and apparently it doesn't apply a minus, just halves characteristic.
Okay, then we'll keep that in mind for the future.
Yep.
So,
You have the machines here for doing that. Effectively, you are gonna have to... Either way, you're gonna have to make a tech use test of some kind to see how quickly you can strip out the parts you need. But if you want to strip down unnecessary crap from the body you're taking, that's a separate thing. Now, cutting off those limbs, that could do something like half its weight. So it would make it a lot more feasible to actually try and transport it, and might let you, between you and loot, carry it, as opposed to using an anti-grav sled. The risk is you stay here a little longer, stripping it down.
I think I'm going to have to pull the parts out of the second one.
Yeah, either way you would have to do that part.
Yeah, So let's take care of that first.
This would be part of the same tech use test to see how well you prepare it for transport, essentially. So it's... Well, that's the question. How do you want to go about this? Do you want to
strip out those parts, put them on the anti-grav sled with the most intact one. That's most feasible to work with.
Okay. Then you don't get your usual bonuses for your tools, etc., because you're not using those, but you get a plus 20 for the laboratorium equipment, because you're working through that.
Okay.
And if you have a mind impulse unit to directly link with the lab equipment and you dare risk that, you can get the extra 10 from that.
I only have an interface for it, not a mind impulse unit, so no.
Okay, then go ahead and the bonus from the lab is plus 20.
Yeah, and I applied it.
Should be tech use, not security, but I assume it's the correct value at least.
They're exactly the same.
Okay. In short order, you yank out some pieces from the chest of one of the other robots. Now, if you were truly heretical, you could just stick them in the one you have and see if you can turn it on in safe mode or something. But your mechanicum training tells you that that kind of shit A, gets you shot, and B, makes the Omnissiah hate you. So, anti-grav sled.
Yep.
So, this is something like a 3 by 2 meters pallet. So, it's pretty big. Like, roughly translates to 9 feet by 6 feet. So it's a decent sized cargo thing.
I assume I can't get it to lift off the ground high enough to get to the second door that we were coming in by?
I'm gonna say it would be too narrow. You would have to take it out through the main ways. Because that was more of a normal sized doorway. And the pallet is pretty much, 2 meters wide, so... It's about twice as wide as that doorway.
And they're about to charge in, so I should probably go up with loot and leave it here for the time being.
They're not charging yet, but it looks like they have started calling in the stations that are in this area to check in where the enemy might be and who's still alive in here. There's communications request on the console there.
I'll answer it, I guess.
Acolytes, report the situation. Are the Archaeotech devices secure?
They are intact and secure.
You can hear the cogs turning on the other end. Well done. What is your operating designation?
Would I have been able to pull that from the memory of the others? I think I might have.
Like, you have a list of people who are assigned to this. There's a Magos and 5 Acolytes. Some of them are female, so I'm gonna say that you have about 1 in 2 chance of picking someone he hasn't accounted for elsewhere.
And I assume both of the ones that are on the ground dead are male?
In this case, yeah, I think I stated that they were.
Okay, I'll try to deceive him with that.
So,
let's see how that goes.
Roll a luck die. Low is good. Okay. Roger, I will be inputting a commendation for your initiative in your file. Well done. This is what the Omnissiah likes. You have done well. Be proud. Hold until reinforcements arrive. Help is near. End of communication. Channel closes.
Identity theft works every time.
It's not identity theft if the Emperor approves.
The Omnissiah just never approves of identity theft.
Forgery kits are a legal thing in the Imperium, kids.
Jessen, roll a scrutiny on the bridge as you hear the Magos communicating with the stations.
Base?
Yes, flat.
Oh, I have scrutiny. Am I good at it, though? No. Okay.
Nice.
The voice sounded a lot more stilted than it usually does, but something about the rhythm and the way it was phrased. Yeah, you're pretty sure that last one was Jinzia.
Oh boy. Fucking blessed.
So the mission hasn't failed yet as far as you can tell.
Okay then. And we're basically just kind of sitting in a corner, right? I mean, the other officers.
Mm-hmm.
The situation isn't too hectic yet.
It kind of is, because the hammer has broken orbit as well, because what the fuck is this bullshit? And is actively pinging the ship, which is contemplating trying to just slam on the gas, and has launched the fighters just in case.
Oof. There probably might be a little pestering coming out of me. You know, we could help. I'm an acolyte for a reason.
So he's kind of refusing to communicate with the hammer, and well, Arminius is trying to play his part, like, what the fuck is this random bullshit? I'll not stand for this. I know nothing about any attack.
Exactly. I'm trying to, like, not force down the throat that, you know, we're not really part of the Ordo Xenos, but we'll be part of the Ordo Xenos if we have to be.
Okay.
It's our job.
Demi, I need you to roll me a luck die.
Damn. That's nice.
That's very nice. Okay. That's good. Because you know what chaos draws? Chaos and cats.
I've been aware of this.
But with a 5, the walls of reality are strong, strangely so right now. And you will have no interference from certain feline actors.
Son of a bitch.
Cat just closed its way in through the war core. Okay, let's play.
So,
Oh no, it seems that roll was incorrect. Look.
So I will, however, ask, like, since I can kind of hear what everything is going on, did they kill or find any new Xeno?
Not yet. They are reporting that the senior officers are actually except for one, well, 2 of them would be gathered on the bridge with the captain and just discussing. Presumably the Sororitas pilot and the Administratum dude. As apparently the Eldari was not found in the life support. And they now think that it might be a relatively small group. They're talking down... Yeah, they seem to have come to a decision. The captain orders the bridge locked down and for everyone to prepare for incoming hostiles.
I will note that the Eldari do have praised their speed. Are you sure that
They give you back your guns at this point.
may we go and actually help? Locking down in the bridge and under their speed and stealth is going to be a horrible idea.
Servants are coming out and bringing the carapace armor for the captain. Oh, don't worry, Acolyte. I have a feeling they'll be coming for me.
Arrogant little shit.
I mean, you know, at this point, he's got an encounter with them previously. He might have pissed them off as well.
Fair enough.
Especially being an arrogant little shit.
Yes.
Now, with no due offense, in that case, I will know that I might find more solace being safe outside of the bridge in that case, if this place is going to be sieged down heavily.
I'm sorry I can't do that. They might have the ability to go invisible.
I mean, I have the forbidden lore, and I think I can know that. It's like, yes, they do.
So you'll understand that I'm not opening those doors.
Is there a side entrance that we can quickly use then?
Yes, that's locked too.
So...
Oh dear Emperor, someone check the vents!
So I will note, however, that the Eldari are pretty advanced with explosives as well, from what I remember. So if those doors do come down, what then, Captain?
He looks at you, narrows his eyes. Magos, what would you need to make sure that everyone here is human? He starts listing medical supplies he needs. They're gonna ask the infirmary to bring up like testing kits. So at this point, with a ghost apparently loose on their ship, they're totally distracted, Jackalor, so that worked.
Bless. God, I have two options. Either I find a way out, which is going to be very difficult, or I find a way to particularly distract them from what is actually important.
No. You don't have to do anything. Just relax and point your gun at the door.
Zarkov rushes through everyone, dies. Oops.
Killed the rogue trader.
Whoops. Well, you can't be angry now.
Yeah, you know, I just imagine Zarkov in like a millisecond, like fast speech tells, you know, the captain is like, Carapace will only save you from 4 degrees, not 5.
So, the bridge crew is going to be distracted for another little bit as everyone's blood is drawn and passed through a medical auspice, essentially to see if they are, you know, properly human. Now, Demi, if you have any embarrassing moments in your character's ancestry, now would be the time to share them.
No. I mean, I'm from Malphite, so...
5% catgirl. Wait, what?
2% orc. Wait, what?
Ah, not close enough to get that 5%. Cry.
But yeah, they will be checking because they're really worried about space elves for some reason.
Yes. It will be at that point probably, and I'll check with the lesser crew essentially, which is with some quick questions and things simple quick is it's like, excuse me for asking, but has this occurred recently? Since it seems you're all well prepared and stuff like that. Trying to get as much information from the lesser people.
Yeah, no, they just glance at the captain and mouths stay shut. You can try and roll charm flat to see if you get some kind of hint.
I thought it would be inquiry, but okay. It's actually worse, but whatever. Sure.
Oh,
Charm.
actually, let me... Yeah, go ahead and use inquiry.
Yeah, that's what I thought it would be. So, flat or negative in this case?
Flat.
2 degrees.
It's... They almost start to say, and it's... They don't say anything, but you can see looks on their faces like someone's clapped their cheeks hard in the recent history.
Feel for them. But at the same time... Absolutely blessed.
Chakalor. You're being wheeled upwards towards the bridge area. And also, conveniently, the navigators and astropaths' quarters. You get brought into a kind of a circular room, led to a center, and wheeled into an elevator.
Oh god.
My Gary and we nearby?
There are
No.
the head of security, the 2 armsmen, and 2 nurses are still with you.
No, I meant, I was thinking more the conveniently cloak. Did they find it and take it away? I assume they did.
Where did you keep it?
When I was pretending to be a guard armsman, I would probably put it up. I hate to say this, but it's up my ass.
They did not probe you, Jackalor. That was not medically required to resuscitate you from air loss.
Are you sure about that?
So it's still with you. It will take you 3 full round actions to recover it, however.
Yeah, I was wondering that would probably blow my cover entirely. We found out.
Was it the Archaeotech one, though?
Yes.
Oh!
Why are there black? Why are there black?
Don't!
Stains?
God damn it. It's vanishing as well, so it folded pretty tight, so, you're not feeling too uncomfortable by this action. So, they wheel you into the elevator. The doors close with a, sort of, it's like a mesh thing where it closes. They lock it, and then it starts rising up through the shaft into the spire of the astropaths. You see the windows looking over the hull of the ship. Oh wait, was that a fighter that just buzzed by?
So can I pull the? I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
You're currently prone on the gurney, and one of your arms is manacled down. You could probably break it, but
That would be a surprise round.
Yeah. I will give you a +5 for every unnatural strength you have on a flat strength check to just yank your arm free. But if you fail, or, even if you succeed, you're still gonna be,
Initiative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that would be your surprise round to try and break free.
Yeah, I'll tend to do that. Emperor, give me strength. I assume my unnatural strength will not give us successes.
That's what allows you to do this anyway, but okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that you yank it free, stand up, and you need to roll initiative, because it's, again, fucking hell. Now, unfortunately for you, one of these naughty men is a...
An officer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, he just looks at you. Oh, hell no! So, you see the power maul coming up. So, how hard would he go for you? Oh no, he can see those muscles bulging. So, you need to be subdued. Actually, no, I don't think he's gonna do it that way. He's gonna do it this way. See the power field crackle with electric blue and become almost blinding, and then it just turns into a blur. Would you like to try and avoid this attack as he go nuts?
Is he swift attacking me?
He's lightning attacking with that.
Oh god!
Luckily, it can only go to weapon skill bonus in terms of attacks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, in
That's
theory,
cool.
that's 4 attacks, yes. With a power maul on the high setting,
They need 4 degrees of success on the dodge. Parry.
keep in mind, you don't currently have gauntlets on, so if you do parry successfully, you'll be taking some damage from the power field as well.
I have to do parry. If I attempt to dodge, it won't be enough. Yeah.
Will parry be enough, though?
He kills them all in the elevator, then walks into the astropath's chambers. Korn sends his regards. This is what you made the character for, Jackalor. You just have to believe.
Yeah. Emperor, grant me your blessing. Bitch.
Oh, nice.
Okay. What's your toughness?
3.
Okay. You got a total of 5 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how much damage to give you? Let's call it a 2. I shall be generous.
Super attack?
No. 2 overall.
Jackler would be like, so this is what super instinct feels like?
That fucking one. He tried to assert his authority, Jackalor, as hard as he ever has. Problem is you
You
can't
can't
kill
kill
this
him
guy.
Yeah, I know I can't kill this guy.
I believe in you. Try.
No, I'm not trying to. I'm not allowed to kill him.
With this
Yes, I
thread,
can.
the with this death, the thread of destiny is severed.
Basically. So yeah, there are how many of them? 4? In
Uh,
total?
There are 3: him, 2 armsmen, and 2 nurses that don't really count.
Okay. I don't think I'll do. I think I'll do 2 lightning attacks, not whirlwind of death. Actually, I will do whirlwind of death.
Okay.
Was he wearing carapace?
Yep.
You can pierce that. I believe.
I don't want to pierce it.
The problem is you have to actually do damage with an arm to inflict the fatigue. So,
Yes.
and no, if he's a beef boy, he has probably at least 9 soak.
Yep. So no aim. Standard. That's for the first armsman.
Okay.
I'm doing the armsman.
Dead.
In case you didn't get that.
So this is whirlwind of death, so it's like 2 standard attacks each.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Would you like to reroll that, Jack Lore?
I don't have the fate points.
Don't you have Blade Master?
That only applies to bladed weapons.
Ah,
Really?
Yeah.
does it?
So
That's
power
melee attack.
swords, chain blades, daggers, but not fists.
Yeah, just in case.
Okay, so how do I... Fuck you, yet not fuck you completely. I'm gonna
Oh,
say
yeah,
that
actually-
that armsman, the failure on the second attack is gonna ruin the first one as well. So he's just gonna be fine. And that way you can...
I miss all my attacks. Holy shit.
You succeeded on with 1.
Yes, against the armsman.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the damage. That's not enough to kill him.
No, that takes him
I'm
to
fucked.
about half. You're kind of fucked.
I'm really fucked.
They're going to sort of scramble for their pistols. And they're going to attempt to shoot you. So, let's see. They have no aim, and this counts as standard because they're in melee.
Emperor, protect me.
Okay, they miss. And then it's Nicodemus's turn.
Mm-hmm.
You're a bad boy. You're a bad, bad boy. The elevator seems to be slowing.
You should have just, whispered in their ears, "Hail Hydra." Ha. Come on.
Then I have to dodge or parry.
Leave.
Emperor. Give me the strength to fight on. No,
Damn.
I'm fucked.
You are potentially fucked. How hurt are you
Unless he
currently?
rolls somehow, there's no way he can't kill me. That's at least 3 hits.
So how hurt are you currently?
9 out of 13.
Yeah, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
As you feel the first hit crash into your ribs, you realize he's been a cop for a long time. He knows how to use blunt weapons very well. Okay, so how low does that take you?
That's casually 13 into criticals.
Wait, you were at 9 out of 13.
Yep.
I think you sold 3.
It's 4. Oh yeah, that puts him at 9 into criticals then.
I
No,
think
10
you're...
into criticals.
So, would you like to burn a fate point to somehow survive this? I know exactly how you would survive this. It wouldn't be weird. It would make things harder for Jason somewhat, but
0 fate points, here we go.
we still have to assign the extra ones you would gain from the last mission and from this mission. So, presumably the crew shall be generous and give you at least 1 back.
Fair enough.
Okay, Jason, the testing seems to be complete, and they seem to be calming down, and there's a report from the security officer that he has caught one of the saboteurs.
Oh no.
And that he believes the saboteur is in critical condition. However, he has taken the liberty of acquiring a tech acolyte and a repair servitor to permanently weld him into one of the beds in the brig.
I only have one idea on my mind on what to do.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's a good idea is the thing. Like, we're locked in here. We've done some testing and things. The only thing that's coming on my mind that might be a somewhat decent idea is to call that, that's bullshit, that's a lie, that's probably the Xenos going into our comms. Send us out to investigate. But I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
Okay, Jackalor. So the way that works, you're gonna need an augmetic.
Oof.
You have 1 less leg than you used to.
Holy shit.
Ouch.
Like, cut so much it's gonna have to be amputated.
Energy sears through the bone, causing the leg to be severed. The target suffers 1d10 levels of fatigue and suffers blood loss. He also must make challenging toughness test or be stunned for 1 round. He now suffers lost leg condition. So effectively, he just sort of smashed into your leg and kept going, smashing you to the ground with the raw strength of the blow, and flattened both the bone and the flesh against the floor, and sorted it with the power field while he was at it. So it's a cauterized wound. But it's sort of flopping behind you until they can take it off properly.
So yeah, I lost my left leg. Fun. I mean, if I get the other rapier praise now, I can have sprint.
So, Demi,
Can I roll?
do you
I
want to
have-
try it?
Can I roll a logic test before that? Can I find out if that's a good idea or not?
Okay. You want to roll logic to see if I'll advise you. Go ahead.
Okay, so intelligence based, right? So I have that. I have luckily some things that give me calculus logi and a vat-grown cerebral implants. That's
Scribe times wouldn't help with this. You don't have the time to use them.
I mean it's lores, so this wouldn't apply in the first place.
I don't know, Demi. What do you think?
Son of a bitch.
Spade of Faith point. You have like a bunch of them.
Who left?
That's infinity more than Jackalor.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna spend one more just to reroll.
Nope.
I don't know, Demi. What do you think?
I hate this video. I hate this game. Like, I know that's one of ours. Like, there's no way that it is. But time's going quick. I have nothing better to go for.
It depends on if you think the ones that are still free can complete the mission or not. Really.
I mean, we sent 3 of them, and this is now a 3rd down. And I don't exactly know that they're separated, so if one of them's caught, the others might be on the run.
You only mentioned one. That means it's probably not actually all of them.
Hard to say.
It's hard to say. Exactly that.
If you knew how this head of security reports information, you might be able to hazard a guess, but you've barely even seen him. He's been, doing his own thing. He was sort of at a dinner with the officers, but he didn't say much. He just sort of ate, said yes, thank you, yes, just non-answers really, and just ate. This is why you're here, Demi. This is your moment to shine. To fix everything that's gone wrong to this point.
Like, I have to do it. I'm gonna try and deceive my way, essentially. And exactly what I said, that I think would be the I mean, that's the best idea I have right now.
Okay, so what
I
do you
mean,
say
honestly-
exactly?
Can I give him a bit of advice? I mean,
No,
I
no.
failed on the logic. I hate myself.
So Demi, what do you say to the rogue trader?
Oh, is it the rogue trader?
Well, in this room, yes, but it's his head of security reporting that, hey, we caught one.
Yeah, no. Essentially, what I wanted to say was essentially that we're all safe in this room. We don't know what's outside. For all we know, the Eldari, which some of them can speak our tongue, may in fact just be tricking us into doing this, opening the doors, or trying to lead some people out.
Okay.
And I'll force it if I have to, if I see that on that expression that it's like, this is obviously going nowhere. Like,
Make
I'm
a
gonna
deceive
have-
roll with plus 20.
God, I have to reroll it. Come on, that's my last fate point. Come on.
Now you know how Jackalor feels.
There we go.
He stops halfway to micro-breathing some kind of command. Looks at you. The realization hitting. Just nods. You did good, kid. You saved him from making a horrible mistake. He beats out. Yes, go ahead and secure the prisoner. And then, see if you can find any more.
Okay. in the meantime, like there was also like through that I wanted to essentially also get out of this room. I need to go out with the officers. I can go wherever there is. And as I said, before I finished, I would, considering we're just trapped here and they're obviously doing some scheming in the back, I'll flaunt the Inquisition and order Zeno's bullshit that we're gonna go and fix this shit now. We can't let a prominent new rogue trader, fall so quickly to the hands of the Zenos. Think of how it would be looked upon from the Imperium. Make something up.
Okay, make me a charm test, Flat. Since you did so well on deceive, it's doable, despite his suspicion of Arminius, but...
I have no more fate points left.
Down to the wire. Can Demi save the mission?
Oh!
He just looks at you. You know he can't let you back in once you go out there. Not until this is properly resolved.
Understood.
Take some armsmen with you. I'll have some people bring up a spare set of flak armor for you.
Thank you. I'm actually, no, sure, I'll be able to wear the flak armor, but not for very long.
Is your strength really that low?
Yes, my strength plus toughness is 4.
Are you playing fucking Caradoc?
My weapon skill is 26, ballistic 26, strength 28, toughness 20, agility 20.
He is.
You play Caradoc.
Yeah. Without the Tactica Imperialis.
Before my family came to Malphite, we were known as the Lancasters.
Technically, though, I do have Tactica Imperialis because infused knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Technically.
So, you and your officers will be able to form a posse with about an equal number of his armsmen and go and resolve the situation. And your first mission is to go and check on their head of security and make sure he's not been replaced. And to take a tech acolyte with a testing kit with you.
Oh, my first reaction that came to me is like, can I make a firing squad out of this? I don't have the command though. Oh, I killed.
Okay, so you're moving through the ship as a unit. Meanwhile, in another part of the ship, Jinzia, you have the grav sled loaded. Presumably they assume that your location is secure. And how would you like to try and escape now that this is a thing?
I assume Luke destroyed the brains of the robot.
He just shot them until they stopped shooting and trying to climb the wall. That's all he did.
Well, the others are still intact, so does it fucking matter, really? Does it? I think we should open the doors, try and navigate with what little I know of the locations where the groups were coming from, and try and head towards one that has no actual tech priests in it.
Okay, so you want to head for an exit. Unfortunately, the groups don't necessarily have a notation of if there are tech priests in them. So,
Okay.
roll me a luck die to see how quickly he finds the other acolyte who shares your ident. And how lucky you are in running into an appropriate group. Okay, the one you're approaching does not appear to have a tech priest. It does appear to have something like 20 armsmen though. And there is actually, I'm gonna say, like a couple of flamers as well for the fucking Eldari, just to fill corridor with flame to make this fun.
Yeah, so they can't dodge. I get it.
Or at least make it really difficult for them. Tie up their dodges, make them use them up, etc. They stop when they see you. Tech Priest, where are... I was not informed you were passing by.
I have to get this Archaeotech out of here. They're still in there, I think.
But there's something under his breath. You two, escort the tech acolyte wherever she's going.
I assume Loot is following me with, like...
Loot is right there in a red robe that luckily does not show the blood too much, keeping his head very low.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Let's start heading for the fucking... the docks.
Okay. So, you head towards the docks, and as you're heading towards the less secure areas, the Arvzan are gonna trade a look between themselves. Tech Priest, are you sure we're going the right way?
I'll tilt my head to the side. What do you mean?
Well, the engineering is back that way.
I'll look towards the engineering. I must have gotten confused. I'm sorry. Start pedaling it towards the engineering and slowly, sneakily try to alert Loot to shoot them.
Yeah, he's already hefting the rifles, so sort of looking at your direction. You just sort of nod when you meet his eyes slightly.
And I'll pull my gun.
Okay.
Hand cannon.
Make an attack roll to take out one of them, hopefully.
I assume I can half it.
I'm gonna say you can, but that will remove the surprise.
Oh, in that case, no, I won't. Then. Are we in point blank or is it short range?
You're in point blank.
Okay. I assume no extra modifiers?
Oh, that's Emperor's Fury.
Oh, that is. Oh, I fucking love Loot. Even when he's not here. We need 5 damage.
No extra modifiers, but I think you get plus 30 for unaware. So you pull out the gun, the other one goes, "Wait, what are you doing?" Turns back, Loot is already aiming. He just tries to jerk aside. Boom!
Alright, that's with the plus 30. Then.
Mm-hmm. Roll damage.
It's not enough to kill him, I don't think.
It is...
Oh, you don't have base points.
It is not.
Need 12 damage to kill him, I think.
I do have 1 fate point left. How low is that? That's at 5.
Go ahead and roll initiative.
Alright. Oh, I didn't select the token.
It's up to you, Jinzia.
You could spend the fate
Shit.
point maxed out.
I can spend the fate point to max it out, you said?
Yes, your initiative.
But you have to do it before rolling usually.
Ah.
If you wish, I will let you do this because it's not something that's come up a lot before.
Sure, then I'll do it.
Okay, then you have your max initiative and you go before him. He's still within point blank, but not surprised.
I'll take the second shot then, I guess.
Now, if this was D&D, you would have paladins after you. So close, and yet so far. He just spits out blood. You fucking bitch! And he, being in point blank, will happily lower his shotgun at you. What do we say to the god of death, Adolphus?
Ooh.
Only for Marines, hello?
Essentially, naval armsmen or naval ratings have one sheet in the book, and essentially the ones that are actually meant to carry weapons get shotguns, the rest get sidearms and no armor.
Plus 60 G.
Scatter gives them an additional, what, +2, +3?
+3, I
Plus
think.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's 9?
Mm-hmm.
I have 4, so
So you take 5.
I take 5. Alright. Well, I was uninjured until now, so...
Lou
Fine.
just sort of shakes his head and lowers his rifle. The rating just goes, no, wait! Bang!
Let's keep going.
Oh.
Wow! It's still enough, so...
It's a shit roll, but it's enough, yeah.
Were they fighting?
Just a couple of naval ratings that were escorting them.
Yeah, kill
Had to be
so
neutralized.
point.
Remember when they were worried about randomly killing an acolyte and then they're just... But at that point there wasn't really much choice, it was that or get completely fucked. So... guess we'll see how Arminius feels about this.
What do you mean you killed 20 ratings? And multiple tech acolytes.
Well, he did shoot 2 of the tech acolytes, but at that point it was kind of unavoidable.
Jason,
Yes.
you are heading towards the brig, keeping a very eye out for Eldari ambushers.
I'm mostly keeping it. Yes, but actually, no.
Some of the officers are throwing looks at you. Do you wish to try and communicate something to them on the down low? While others aren't looking. Try and make some sort of preparation or pass a signal.
How many officers do I have with me?
Well, pretty much everyone that was with your team, except the 2 guys that were by the shuttle.
So how many officers is that? I have left 3 with me. 4.
You had a full contingent of like 10 officers and 4 spearfishers with you.
Okay.
So you have, 14 of your guys and 15 of theirs, so it's like about equal numbers.
Yeah. Well, because we're all clumped up together. I'll
People are
ask one
sort
the,
of spreading out and covering different sections, so you can find a moment to try and pass something quickly to one of them, if you wish.
Yeah, because I was going to be like, one of the armsmen, because we're like going to the bridge, just ask, the quickest direction, blah blah, and I wanted to have like 2 officers essentially because through things like no they have explosives, they were more grouped up, blah blah. We need to spread out even further and have 2 officers basically lead some of the army further away, so have less of them going to the brig.
Okay, so that's a good idea. They will definitely follow that. They know how dangerous Eldari can be, apparently. So they will happily spread out in 2s and 3s to follow side tunnels and just, couple get killed in reserve to go wherever the shooting starts, etc. And be careful. So
yeah, for those splitting off, I'm gonna have them slow down by just being like, check the vents.
So you approach the brig with another, let's say, 2 guys from your team and 2 armsmen.
Okay. I'll being kind of heavy, kind of like panting at this time. I'm gonna tap one of the officers like, rush it. We were guns out, and we'd be like, be ready. We need to go. We need to hit them before they know.
Okay.
Be careful of any. I'm just gonna prepare them. Be careful of any sign, any movement on the weapons and things.
Okay.
They're not us.
So there's this lone acolyte sort of following 10 meters behind with a clutching a testing kit. You just sort of tap the armsman from this ship on shoulders, like, go, go, go. They rush in. Shotguns blast out from inside. There's shooting.
That was a lot faster than I expected. Go in, follow in, I suppose. God damn.
You and officers go in and follow along. You see the 2 armsmen off to the sides where they try to spread out to further cover, riddled with shotgun blasts, and just a lone voice from the inside shouting, "Hold fire! Hold fire! Those are your own men!"
Show yourself, Zeno!
Stand down rating! I'm the head of security of this vessel! Lower your weapon and stand up!
I did do some of that investigation previously. What do I know about the head of the security in this place? Because I think he was an Adeptus Arbeit.
Yeah, he's an Adeptus Arbeit. So he's used to,
Yeah, but any information that I might have picked up on him, that might be used against him in this fact.
Nothing exceptional. Senior crew weren't exactly eager to share information you could use against the ship. They were proper Malfian officers, apparently.
Throw your weapons. Out where we can see them.
Okay.
You have 3 seconds to oblige. 1.
You just hear a click!
Run. Zeno!
Make a dodge! I see.
I don't have dodge. I want.
He's just gonna toss a grenade at this point. Fuck you.
I don't have dodge. Wait, what the fuck? Wait, I don't have dodge. Why did it not negate it? Oh, that's. How did I roll
agility?
Fuck. There we go. Not as bad. Still fail.
Okay, there is a chance that this will still fuck up. But no, it lands on target.
Oh fuck. How did he hit from that section? God damn it. I think one of those crew ratings succeeded.
Yeah, one of your officers manages to dive back out of the doorway. The other one sort of stumbles into it with his shoulder. And you see the frag grenade just land at your feet.
Oh shit. Luckily I have I luckily put on the flak armor because I usually don't have armor, but I don't take any damage from that.
How would you like to proceed?
He threw a grenade back at us. That's Zeno.
I mean, at this point, only your own officers are alive here, but More reinforcements that you left behind are rushing in this general direction.
Good. Just have. Do the officer? Yeah. Do our officers have nades?
Not on a diplomatic mission. They have sidearms.
What weapons did they bring?
I need to remind you again, you can't kill him.
Why?
Because he's actually important.
It's a mission orders.
Come on, that ruins my entire fucking plan.
Your plan to murder him and then cover it up.
You can't murder everyone you come across.
Okay, listen here.
I had the very dumb idea. Listen to this, because I need some way for him.
No. It was gonna work if you were gonna just charge everyone in there and kill him this way. You've sufficiently escalated it. The problem is that that's problematic.
No. I was going to do a little bit of a tactic, whereas if they do the blood test, they'll know he's human. So I'm going to forge it then, because I know about the Eldari a little bit, and I have some writing kits, I have combi tools and things. I'm going to make some craftable Eldari symbols on them and make them secret coverts.
It depends on how badly the senior crew rolled if you tattooed something like the Eldar equivalent of Hail Hydra on them.
Yeah, no, I was gonna be like, you could just say that they psychically got affected maybe on the last time, because I know that they were attacked by Eldari recently. That might be a decent idea. So that's why I kind of want to go and apprehend him, or in some like I need to somehow get to him to to ensign things, and to the two other people that were with him.
Okay, so how would you like to proceed?
I'm going to have, since I want the officers to kind of just and I mean, if necessary, me as well, before anybody gets there, to just bum rush him and knock him the fuck out then, or heavily wound him.
Okay, your officers don't have melee weapons.
They have point blank.
Okay, so you just want to order them to charge him and try and subdue him.
Yes. And I'm not nothing smarter, better as well. I'm not combat proficient, so I'll be going in with them at a distance and prep my long glass if need be.
Okay, so there's gonna be a slight shootout. Believe it or not. And he's just gonna start blasting with his combat shotgun as you rush in.
Bless. And that's 3 hits? Actually, no, if it's a semi, then how many hits?
One of the officers gets winged. And actually, this is bad enough, I think, that he probably would. He is gonna use a fate point to get an extra degree of success, and average toughness of 3, so that officer goes down. The other one is gonna be just it looks like one of the ratings is barely holding on, so effectively you get to fight him at range.
Let me take a shot, I suppose. Is it going to be good? No. Halving. Range. It is a standard attack. And a modifier. Wow, it's accurate. That's all I got. That's
Okay.
Didn't have to dodge in the first place.
Okay.
He dodged into the shop, clearly.
Wait, no, I didn't. Fuck. Damn it. Bless. Didn't suffer damage. I cry.
You see him just voxing into his microbead. Security to the bridge! It's the Inquisition delegation! They've turned the crew against us! Which means he doesn't get a half aim on this because he spent a half action on voxing. And this is at you. That would be 3 hits.
I'll attempt to dodge. No, is the answer.
Well, luckily you have armor on now.
Let's see. That's 4 from flak. Plus 2, so 6. No damage. So I take 4.
And 6.
then
6.
6. So I'm at 10 out of 10.
Okay. You may attempt to shoot
That's
him.
been a very good shooting. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and I'm probably at the same time yelling, sort of like realization. It's like yelling probably loud so the Vox can probably pick it up. And it's like, oh, just, shush Gino scum, stuff like that,
For the Imperium! Purge the Xeno!
I guess I'll shoot at him again. Half aim. Sure. Standard 10. Oh my fucking god. Actually, no, my bad. That's actually a mistake, because my divination kicks in. The first time that this character suffers any damage each session, he gains a +20 bonus to the next test he makes before the end of his next turn. So I have to use it.
Okay.
Forgot about that.
So you're rolling versus an 86.
Is that gonna be enough? No,
Yes.
no question.
What setting are you firing this on?
Probably would be. Yeah, can the long glass even go higher?
It can overcharge the hotshots can't.
I thought it was only the regular long glasses, but this is Jasmine we're talking about. If we're needs combat, it's gonna be on high. Doesn't really fucking care if it needs. So how many? So that's 3 success. So I get a 1d5, right?
Yep.
Oh, let's see if I. So that is. So wait, what is the long glasses base stats for pen and damage?
Christ, you're gonna make me look it up.
I'm sorry.
You disgusting animal.
Fuck you. I had to improvise.
Long last is 1d10 plus 5 and pen 3 if you use it with overcharge or overload.
Got it.
So the base is 1d10 plus 3.
Yeah.
1d10 plus 1d5 plus 5 with a pen of 3. Oh boy. Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
So, pen of 3 penetrates half his armor, which means that he has, drumroll, please, 8 soak left.
Fuck, how much toughness does he have? Yeah, actually, Carapace says...
He is tough as all fuck. He's a bull of a man.
So he took, what, 8 damage?
Yep. You just shoot him, he stumbles back for a second, and you just see him shake it off and lower the shotgun.
Bro. But what about the other officers? He's not dead yet. There was only one dead, right?
He has, he is wounded at this point, but he has, I'm gonna say, dealt with the armsmen. And there are more rushing in, both armsmen and officers, from behind. So after this round, essentially, you're gonna be out of his ability to shoot, because there's gonna be too many people rushing in for him to get clear shot at you.
Okay.
So, half aim, short range, Single attack. It's time for you to die.
I'm most likely going to die. I mean, I'll try. Oh my fucking god.
Okay. You fall to the ground, but he was shown your picture. He ate dinner with you. He at least is sure he knows what's up. He's gonna reroll the damage with a fate point.
Why are you like this? So that's 8 flak and 2, so I take 2 damage. So I'm 2 into critical.
And that was a hit on a leg.
Oh, come on. This guy has a fetish for legs. Which leg is it, though? 92? That is left leg.
Left leg, yeah.
Damn it.
Okay. A grazing strike against the leg slows the target. Target's movement is reduced by half, rounding up for 1 round. He must make challenging toughness test or be stunned for 1 round and fall prone. I'm gonna say with that fail of a dodge, you get shot in the knee and end up stumbling and falling on that knee, so you're stunned for 1 round anyway. So, Demi, make me 3 or 4 1d100 rolls. Let's see if they can overwhelm him with mass. Yes, we'll see if they can
I'll do them
overwhelm
separate
him.
because, yes. Okay.
Not bad.
Okay, so he would be able to restore order after this round. So we're going to say one of those is a shotgun blast. And the other 2 are pistol shots.
I don't think any of those do damage with the pistol.
Yeah, no, you're right. None of that does damage, he just shrugs it off. He's a man's man. So, they are... The ratings, when you come to and the pain haze clears, have stopped firing. And you realize, okay, there's like 4 ratings in front of me and like 5 officers around me with guns leveled at their backs, more or less. And he's just screaming, "Cease your fire, you dumb sons of whores! What fucking hole did you crawl out of?"
Yeah, I think it's at this point, I mean, I'm still stunned, but slowly get up because everything hurts, but I need to continue the mission. Suffering is an unrelenting instructor after all. And just, you know, scream at him, essentially, drop your weapon, Zeno!
Make a intimidate check as well.
I have intimidate, with strength, willpower, or fellowship, however you want.
Willpower in this case.
Oh boy, 30%. Let's go. Any modifier or none for this case?
None, because he rolled straight as well. The ratings just raised their shotguns and said, "Okay, you are getting fucking tested. No fucking excuses. Captain's orders." Just sort of glares at them. There's a tense impasse. The acolyte sort of just starts squeezing past everyone with his testing kit. Meanwhile, back at the shuttle, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of guards, but it looks like there's a naval rating and 1 dude left in the control booth when you peek your head in. Doesn't look like they saw you. How are you planning to bypass them? To be better, you are literally within sight of the escape shuttle. These are the guys that are actually in the hangar deck. Up ahead you can see 2 of your guys.
There are 2 guards? Or
1 guard and 1 docking bay, like, worker overseer, you know, docking controller.
So these two are from the ship's crew, or are they ours?
There's 4
They're from the
total.
ship's crew,
2
right?
from yours and 2 from the ship's crew.
Okay. I guess I'll have to distract them while Luke pushes the through one entrance, I guess.
Okay. What kind of distraction? It would be better if they didn't realize they had been distracted even after the fact.
I think I should probably hack the console that one of them is at to display something that's extremely alarming.
Okay. That will likely
Like,
bring your own crew outside the shuttle, which might make things awkward.
That's fine.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'll hack it to say that the airlock is opening.
Okay. Make a security check. At -10, since I'm assuming you also want to cover your tracks.
Yeah.
Okay. So... Okay. Everyone rushes out. You just sort of trundle in through the empty landing bay. Input the code for the ship. Go up the ramp. Close it. Mission well done. Too bad about the other fuck-ups.
We got it done, boys. Don't know where the other two are, but we got it done.
Zarkov, you are in deep pain. And you hear shouting from outside where you are locked in a metal embrace of a loving jail cell. Someone screaming something about getting tested and no fucking excuses. And someone else promising them that he will get to the bottom of this and every one of them is gonna do extra night shifts.
To be fair though, a person's first reaction to drop your weapon is not throw a nade, but you know, okay, Mr. Adeptus Arbac.
Literally his ship. He told you to lower your weapons and stand up. He tried to be peaceful. And you were like, drop your weapon, Xeno scum. Okay then. Tell me you won't have the same reaction than me, I fucking dare you.
No, actually I value my life.
If you had a beefcake with 11 soak.
I'm not a beefcake with 11, so...
Zarkov, would you like to join in the discussion?
How would I join the discussion?
Paint, moan? Shouting something? I don't know.
Well, I'm welded to the fucking thing.
Hmm. You also can't feel one of your legs. Or rather, you can feel it altogether too much. So much that 2/3 of the leg are completely numb.
Fucking monk guy.
What? What? That's the only...
What?
Help me out.
You hear a... Wait, no! I knew it! Bang, 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 bang! They all opened fire, Demi, even your officers.
Wait, who died?
Is Wait, oh, those that might do.
So the pistols do nothing, but he takes 2. And he takes 5. So that's 7. And he took 8 before.
Yeah. So that's already 15 wounds.
He just goes bang, 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 and then she just sort of dies behind a table. You come anywhere near my prisoner and I'll grenade a lot of you. Get out of my brig! He's not in criticals yet. Barely.
Wait.
That's a lot of HP.
Yeah.
You just see
Okay.
2 hands clutching grenades show briefly above the edge. So help me!
Yeah,
Just give me a bit.
It seems peaceful in the shuttle. Safe. Almost like being back on Hammer. It's almost hard to believe that you made it back here. And with the prize no less. Without running into too much trouble even.
I'll be right back.
Cat's fucking damn it. I'm gonna let the cat out. He keeps screaming at me. God's damn it.
Oh God.
Cat's...
I think Jackalope froze.
Oh, he said he was gonna step away for a second, but it's just... How will our heroes escape this time?
Well, two of them are at the base.
Jackalope!
Coherently talk. Oh, God. Well, this has been a fun session. But hey, we got the mission done. Don't know what's gonna happen to those two, but we'll find out in a few minutes.
Hmm. Like, you could even leave Jackalope there if he was willing to retire Zarkov, but I don't think he is, and leaving an Acolyte with knowing as much as he does, even if he's a dumb, then dangerous.
I mean, he doesn't actually know that much, does he?
Well, he doesn't realize he knows it, but with enough mental probing, they can still learn far too much.
True.
And that's like the first telepathy power, so...
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Where the fuck were you? Oh yeah, two grenades over.
So it appears to be a standoff of some kind.
He's got 2 grenades.
Not all of them...
Sorry,
What are the
just
chances
one.
that all of them will be duds?
1 in 100.
You know, I'll try and I'll say basically. I'm just gonna tell the others it's like, men, hold. If you are a man of the Imperium, you should be able to answer some of these questions that I will be putting, alright?
Fuck you, you have no authority here, I obey the captain! fucking mutineers!
And I'm an acolyte of the Inquisition, possible Xeno. So, if you are one of us, before you are seen as a traitor for annihilating all of us if you are somebody of the Imperium, just answer some things. Is that alright?
So, how sheltered was Jason's upbringing?
Considering that I've went with an Inquisition and things, and because the backstory was I tried to want to prove myself because I wasn't like a firstborn, I was kind of not too sheltered, like as sheltered as you could. I mean,
You know some of those curse words. The others you suspect are too well even for your education. Essentially, he turns full Russian for a minute or so, he tells you exactly what he thinks about you and the people with you. Zarkov, you've heard some of those in the Imperial Guard. Some of those. The rest are on education.
At least they gave me something to remember. Oh, damn. Other than leg.
I understood some of those words. Alright, that's
He moves on to your mother. And he tells you exactly what you should do with her.
Can you speak High Gothic?
The captain walks us in. Jason, he has an open microbit. I'm pretty sure that's actually him.
Just to be sure, do you know anything about him specifically? A little bit private. Just in case.
The microbeat goes off. The expletives stop for a second. Mutters something. Something. Yes, that's definitely him.
Drop your weapons, man. And yeah, just drop.
He peeks
dropped our
out
weapons.
suspiciously.
You can drop the grenades now.
Just, you see one hand reach out, fumbling for the pins.
Did you seriously have to just throw a nade the first thing we did? I mean, I know it must have been reactionary, but come on, man.
Shut your mouth, you pile grog shit.
I understood that. Alright. Sorry about shooting you.
He's just a mess of raw meat and blood somehow still standing.
Where's the prisoner?
Yeah, no, until I see the captain down here telling me that I need to show this fucker to you, you ain't getting at him.
That's kind of the reason why we went down here in the first place.
I was told to look for Xeno's filth.
Did you find it?
No, I found a fucking infiltrator and mutant. You can have him. And what's more, I fucking know it was you. I can feel it in my water. I might not have proof, but I know it was you fuckers.
Fair enough. Just microbead the fucking captain then. I don't think... Is there anywhere else that, besides here, that there could have been more Xenos or infiltrators? So you can go clear the mouse so the captain can come down here.
Oh no, kid, you're staying here. We already found the dead deck acolytes and the missing piece of machinery.
Alright then. Microbead the captain then, if it's all clear.
Okay, so things are kind of gonna de-escalate, but you're gonna be talking with the captain a lot, and presumably asking to interrogate Zarkov on the hammer where you have proper interrogators.
I'd like to try that, yes. Especially if it is an infiltrator, either Xenos or just a pure-on heretic. That is the Inquisition's role to deal with.
You know, they would be a lot more comfortable if you would, as a sign of goodwill, let them search your ship. The shuttle, I mean. Because they still haven't found a piece of missing machinery. So presumably they somehow are either hiding on the ship or they got it out there.
I have no idea where the thing went though, so it's unknown.
The plan was for them to get it on the shuttle somehow and take it to the hammer once you undocked.
Yeah, so it is there, then if it is there. Fuck, how do I weasel my way out of here? Did we prepare like a hidden compartment for the thing? Or is it just like standing there in the open like a piece of armor?
I'm gonna say you probably did prepare something, but
It's gonna be easily found. It's not that hard.
if they go over it with auspices, they'll find it. It might pass, for casual inspection, and finding two infiltrators that weren't on the list of guests, who are just sitting there in blood-splattered clothing, would be slightly suspicious as well.
I think it comes after a point where I think that's the only option I have, where it would be, sort of like if they have a question or a demand, I'm just going to be questioning them back in a sense, the missing piece of machinery, what exactly is it? Like, because we know kind of what it is, but I want them to, explicitly say, and like, if they do say what it is, it's like, huh, well, why do you have that, huh?
Roll and intimidate with +20.
With
fellowship.
It's not a thing, so I'm just gonna roll the fellowship.
Yeah, that's fine.
No fake points. I fucking hate it. Please, Emperor. Like, give me a 23 as a result. Please. I'll be anti-Slanesh for a day. No!
You don't bargain with an emperor and offer him what's already his by right for all eternity.
Come on, give me. Fucking.
Soon as it mentions the Nash.
The only thing I can weasel myself out is I technically played a regicide with the captain. Does that give me a +5?
Sure.
Wow, actually.
Sure.
Be merciful. Take it and leave it.
I hate when it rolls 97 times.
Okay. He's gonna let you leave, and he's even gonna give Zarkov back. With a,
As a mutual fuck you glance.
with a message for Arminius. Telling him that, he plays masterfully, and that he knows exactly what happened here.
No, I think it's that time where we look at the Inquisitors, just be like, so we have a plan what to do when our Gillerfield comes back, right?
I mean, after this, and realizing that, maybe he could come back later. Once he has a Minesweeper component or something. You're just gonna see the ship as soon as you're off, just kick into high sublight and make for the Mandeville point. Better hope that Gellerfield makes it here quickly and you're not still repairing when he comes back with whatever he's going for.
Fucking blessed. Well, technically, this was a success, guys.
Oh, it was a shining success, it's just a subtlety hit.
Yeah, cover up is not gonna help until we get back to Malphite.
Even then, this is not something that you can necessarily cover up that easily, short of discrediting the entire dynasty. Which you could technically do, but like this guy will still know.
True.
Or think
So,
he knows.
From the information I got before, that they're incredibly rotten and everybody hates them. I don't think discrediting them will do a lot or not a lot.
I mean, Malfians are... I'm gonna make the executive call and say that they're rotten to the core, but they're practical. Like, this dude knows that it's not worth fighting the Inquisition over this, and he could try and force the issue, but he'd probably lose his ship in the process. So he just... Okay, fair enough, you piece of shit. I'm just gonna take my toys and go elsewhere.
We rolled it off. Yay!
I'm so glad I picked that one fucking tick of Intimidate, even though it was more expensive.
Blessed. Okay. Well, that's the mission then. Successful as always.
We had some amazing kills, pissed off a rogue trader, found out an NPC that can't be killed, got a man of iron, lost a leg, lost a kneecap. Yeah, sounds about right.
Lost the leg too.
Not as bad as you.
Well, he is actually built as a combat character, more or less. So, obviously, he's...
Though, this is... Just think of this as an advantage. Because now you can get maybe a good quality thing.
Mm-hmm.
What is a good... Ooh, plus 20 bonus to agility attacks when jumping or leaping. And sprint.
Yeah, sprinting is the nice thing.
So, the next mission will be either against the smugglers, or at Scintilla dealing with any inquisitors that have come to start giving a fuck about what the fuck Arminius is up to, being so secretive and flying all around the place. Either way, it's gonna be a more cloak and dagger / socialish thing. And probably if we do the Inquisition stuff, it'll probably be followed by the cartel stuff or something else that is suitably involved with social options.
Yep. That's where I really want to bring Justin in.
Okay.
Expect those to devolve into shooting in like 10 minutes flat.
So you got the Man of Iron, and you managed not to kill anyone important. You did not manage to do this completely silent, or without, completely silent was never going to happen. That was unrealistic as expectations, but you didn't manage to do it without him being sure that it was you.
No question. When it says unrealistic due to just the mission in general, or unrealistic due to us
the mission in general, you did extremely well, but infiltrating a starship is a tough call, and there's far too many roles involved for something not to go wrong. It wouldn't be unfair. It wouldn't be fair to expect you to manage that. I would give you a bonus if you did, but...
I told the Emperor that I'd give up to Slanesh, but then I roll back onto the Hammers 3 chat and I look up the t-shirt with the scaly and I'm like, Emperor, I'm gonna have to go back on my word.
I'm so disappointed in you.
I'm honestly just gonna praise Slanesh every time I roll.
So, let's see. 2 goals accomplished. An additional goal might have been to sort of try and turn this guy into someone who could be used in the future. That secondary goal is also not a thing. But the important bits are done. So, since this was a relatively short mission, it's 200 base per mission.
Per chapter, you mean?
It's 200 base per mission and plus 100 for each chapter. So the mission took 2 chapters, which means that 400 for everyone. And I'm gonna say 600 for the ones involved.
Alright.
And from this mission, we will give the group 1 fate point that can be assigned, and the goals for the previous mission we'll discuss when Boo is dead, because there's a lot to go through. So, yeah, just add the XP so far from this, and the fate points will assign for both missions together. And we'll make the next session like a downtime, because we're gonna head back to Scintilla, resupply. We're gonna change how downtime works. We're gonna say that there's like 3 projects the team as a whole can do, right? And you can have characters aiding them as you please, or divide them among the projects. And each character gets 1 personal thing they can do during downtime, like, whatever works for them. And as far as requisitions, honestly, as long as time is passing, you can attempt to get something. Because you already have the penalty built in of losing stuff if you do shit on the requisition roll. So every time we have a downtime session, or every time the character is heading into a mission, you can just say, hey, could I have acquired this in between? And that should hopefully streamline it a little bit. And then you can just worry about characters who actually have a personal project they want to pursue, for example.
Well, I guess I'm deleting the chameleon and cloak now, since it's supposed to be brought back after the mission.
Indeed. That's going back in the pile.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone even want it anymore?
Yeah.
What is... We have 2 people that are very much benefit, Loot and Naya, so... And, well, anybody else who goes really sneaky.
I wasn't talking about that.
So, Jinzia, this has, he didn't expect you to fail. Don't think that, but he's proud that you succeeded. So, if you're willing to join the inner circle and receive your brain bomb, you can know what you're really searching for.
Okay. Brain bomb it is then.
Just make sure to add it somewhere in your journal and to your implant list. I think it's called a Volator implant, because it just, fucks your brain up if you try to do a bad and say things you shouldn't. Or if they try to extract it from you. So, Demi, any thoughts about what happened here? Or favorite moments?
I mean, the session was pretty good overall, right?
As expected.
Yeah, as expected. I do like the fact that, Jacklor has the ability to just monk his way out of here. Yeah, no, I think I kind of liked how I had to just fucking try force myself to do things that I wouldn't usually do, as in weasel my way. It's like, this is a bad idea, but I have to do it at this point, and hope that God that it works.
I mean, between you and Zarkov, they had a very easy approach to the docking bay. at that point, pretty much everyone was drawn off from,
Missions failed successfully.
And how does Jason feel about what happened?
That was close. Like, from a personal thing, he's like, okay, leg hurts. Ow. I hate people. I hate guns now even more. But nah, it's like just a little misstep here and there, and I could have just been either killed or fucking hostage at a point, even though just because. Not expecting Zarkov to fucking know Eldari though.
I think you picked up a few phrases while you were on board that spaceship. You might want to look out.
Jackalor, how do you feel about what happened here tonight?
It's good to finally meet an equal. I would like to see me fighting him with a power sword in hand.
I mean, he has a power-filled weapon and potentially decent parry. It could get interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Respect my authority!
But a true warrior needs no sword.
Just my trusty truncheon by my side. Okay. Favorite moment was when you were shown your place, I assume.
Yeah. Like, worm in the death. Worm in the death. Fuck, why is it not working? Bah.
Rampages through the ship. Wait, why do I hear boss music?
Yep, basically.
Okay, that pretty much covers it. Adolphus, what about you and Jinzia?
Zinzi is just happy the fucking idiot didn't get us all killed when he decided to punch the acolyte. We managed to pull it out of the fire. As for me, I love the fact that I managed to get them all out of the hangar bay with one trick. That went well.
Like, that crit fail on Jackalor hiding last session, that kind of had knock-on effects throughout all of this, because that, like, led to raising the alarm, and it was kind of like, Things got a lot harder after that happened.
Yep.
But then again, you can see about the general level of security you could expect from a rogue trader vessel.
It's fucking
So
garbage.
kind of meh.
And that's why hit and runs, even though they take like 10 men in, sometimes succeed, because it's like, wait, where the fuck are they? Gather troops! Ring the alarms! Why is the Geller filled off? What is happening? And any favorite moments? Just the final escape?
Loot managing to defeat all of those servitors just by killing the fucking tech priests.
I mean, servitors are mind-locked. They have unlimited ability to react.
Yep. So you just sprayed and sprayed and sprayed until they fuck themselves. Which is pretty...
Okay. So, any other thoughts you would like to share? Any of you?
I need power armor.
Okay. Well, then, thank you everyone for joining us. Saturday is Dark Souls. Yay for Dark Souls. I want to kill myself, but yay for Dark Souls. And Sunday is Rogue Trader, Pioneers of Atalak, where finally the slugs have... they still remember what the fire and the wheel is. But if things keep going this way, not for much longer.
Oof.
Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.